For decades, Sean Diddy Combs, well, he wasn't just a music mogul, right? He was a massive cultural icon, the absolute symbol of success. But now, thanks to a Netflix documentary and a pretty shocking federal trial, that entire empire is on the edge of collapse. It's a story of incredible public glamour clashing head-on with a really dark, hidden reality.
Okay, let's just jump right in with this quote. It's from one of the key accusers, producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones, and man, it really just sets the whole scene. This is the central conflict we're going to explore, the perfect public mask versus the incredibly disturbing things that were allegedly happening right behind it.
So what was the spark that lit this massive fire? It was this Netflix docuseries, Sean Combs, The Reckoning. Now, his legal team immediately called it a shameful hit piece, a personal breach of trust. But, the series had these explosive testimonies that just grabbed the world's attention and really poured fuel on the fire for the legal battle that was coming.
To really get how huge this fall from grace is, we first have to understand the incredible heights he reached. And this wasn't just about money. No, this was about building an entire empire of cool, crafting this image of untouchable power and influence.
And what's so wild is that Combs himself leaned right into this comparison. It wasn't just other people comparing him to the character. He straight up claimed the title. In his mind, his life, his ambition, all his lavish parties, that was the modern version of the great American epic.
And nothing, I mean nothing, symbolized that whole Gatsby vibe more than his legendary annual white parties. For more than a decade, from the Hamptons all the way to St. Tropez, these things were the absolute top of the A-list celebrity world. If you got an invite, you had made it, period.
And listen, these were not just parties. Paris Hilton called them iconic, and she was right. They were cultural moments. With that super strict, all-white dress code, they were these perfectly produced shows, total masterclasses in branding, all designed to cement his place at the very center of American culture. But while that perfect, clean, white image was being beamed out to the world, the documentary and the trial started painting a much, much darker picture. The allegations described events that were just a universe away from those fancy Hampton lawns.
The federal indictment introduced a really disturbing new term into the conversation: freak-offs. The indictment describes them as these elaborately produced sex performances, a total world away from the sponsored glamour of his public life.
So, according to testimony from Lil Rod, there was this whole system for recruiting women for these private events. He claims he was basically ordered to wear a bad boy hat into strip clubs, and he was told that would act as a signal to bring women back to Combs' house.
And the allegations weren't just limited to sex workers. You had Aubrey O'Day, who was in the group Danity Kane that Diddy created. She came forward with these incredibly disturbing emails allegedly from Combs. She says they show a pattern of someone wanting not just sex, but total control and coercion.
And the claims just escalated to this horrific level. O'Day said in the documentary that a lawyer contacted her about a witness affidavit. That affidavit allegedly described a sexual assault happening to O'Day, something she said she had completely blocked from her memory, and made her question if she'd been raped.
So, with all these bombshells and a lot more just swirling around, the stage was set for a huge, high-stakes 7-week federal trial in New York. This is where the polished public persona of Sean Combs was going to go head-to-head with the full power of the U.S. government.
After 3 days of deliberation, the jury came back with a verdict that, honestly, I think it stunned a lot of people. It was a split decision. Combs was acquitted of the biggest charges, racketeering and sex trafficking. But he was found guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution.
So for those 2 guilty counts, what did the judge decide? A sentence of 50 months. That works out to 4 years and 2 months in federal prison for the man who once basically ruled an empire.
But as you can probably guess, the legal verdict was not the end of the story. Not even close. In the court of public opinion, the reaction was immediate. It was explosive, and it just showed this huge gap between what the jury decided and what the public thought was justice.
And this slide just illustrates the whole controversy perfectly. Take a look at these 2 jurors from the exact same trial. One guy thought justice was 100% served, and he described the relationship with Cassie Ventura as just 2 people in love. The other juror, her first reaction to the verdict was, oh shit, and she admitted that the hotel video showed Combs can be violent. It's like they were in 2 totally different realities.
Online, people were, well, let's just say they weren't holding back. The reaction was fast, it was blunt, and just overwhelmingly critical of the jury.
So many people were just in total shock and disgust that he got acquitted on the major charges.
Yeah, you just take a quick look at any online forum and you see this powerful consensus forming. People felt like the sentence was a complete slap on the wrist. They were accusing some of the jurors of being biased, maybe even starstruck. The whole case became this flashpoint, raising these bigger questions about celebrity worship and whether our legal system can really hold the super powerful accountable.
So where does all this leave us? A federal judge has made a decision. A sentence has been given. One legal chapter is closed. But with dozens of civil lawsuits still out there, and with public trust in this verdict basically shattered, you have to wonder, is this really the end? Or is the true reckoning for the man who called himself the Great Gatsby only just beginning?